Aloha, YouTube investors. How is everybody doing today? My name is David Yansen. Welcome to my channel. Today is October 21st. It is Wednesday, 2020, and we are talking earnings as it is earnings season right now. For some companies, it's quarter three. I think most of my companies are quarter three. I did have Procter & Gamble. I did a video on them yesterday out of my Roth IRA. They were fiscal year 2021 already, quarter one. So if you want to see the previous videos that I've done for my M1 Finance, yesterday was Procter & Gamble. I just did the video about a half an hour ago for Next Era Energy out of my Roth IRA, M1 Finance as well. And then Fidelity, earlier this week, Monday, I did JP Morgan, Bank of America. Oh no, it was last week. Last week was JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Johnson & Johnson. So later on this week, tomorrow basically, will be for my Fidelity, I believe is Intel and well, I can't remember off the top of my head. Today we're going to be talking Tesla and Verizon, but later on this week I do have People's United Financial out of Webull, so we will talk about them. And then I also have out of my Robinhood, Amazon, and SiriusXM Radio for tomorrow, so I'll have videos for them. And tomorrow for my M1 Finance, we will have Kimberly-Clark earnings reports. All those earnings reports this week, and then next week we will do some of my other holdings in my portfolios as well too. So, but you can check the playlist, and you can see everything organized for you, broken down by brokerage. I do have a little bit of Webull and some of the others, and to be honest, I just signed up for them for either the free stock slice, the free stock bits. There's free pretty much almost everything with a lot of brokerages nowadays. Your Fidelities, your Charles Schwabs, your Vanguards, not so much, as they're very established, but some of these other brokerage apps that are coming out there, they want more people, so they're offering you nice promotions to sign up with them. So feel free to check out any of those videos and any of the other trades that I did through the month of September. I did add to AbbVie today. So if we look at my account here, my account positions, just before we look at Verizon's earnings for the day, I now own, I think it's 8 shares. Yeah, let's zoom in here. Yeah, so I now own 8 shares of Verizon. Dollar cost averaging now just down, just because I do believe that AbbVie will be trading in the 90s again. And in the video last week, I talked about an analyst. I mentioned an analyst who said that they thought that they would be trading between, I think it's like $95 and $120. So we'll see what happens. It did end the day, at 82 bucks, and it, overall for myself, I haven't been doing the greatest at a loss of over 5.5%, but they are a solid company. They're probably just trading low because they're starting to lose some of these patents. Having Allergan, the Botox company, helps, but with the stay-at-home economy, not too many people were able to go to salons and stuff like that, so to get those wrinkles smoothed out. So let's go ahead and talk about Verizon first and their earnings, and click on here. I like this about Fidelity. I click on the holding and it tells me the earnings announcement. So consensus $1.21. Their actual EPS was $1.25, which is nice. So basically you can see every quarter so far for 2020 they have beat the consensus, and it tells you how much they beat by in these previous ones. On the downside, if we look at this chart here that I got off of Alpha Street for quarter three, their earnings was down 4%. You can see their operating revenue Their operating revenue was down 4%, and to only $31.5 billion. And then you can see here their segment highlights. Consumer revenue down 4% as well too, at $21.74 billion, and then the business side down 2%, over $7.5 billion. So, and then you can see some of these other, retail. Retail was going to be down altogether just because with the stay-at-home economy, they had to close some of their stores, and some of their stores opened up slower than others. Here in Honolulu, I don't think I saw any of their stores open. I know T-Mobile stores were open at one point, and AT&T stores were open at one point, but it was only for certain things that was going on. I didn't really I didn't really see any Verizon stores open, so as I would drive by, most of the places that I would go for grocery and stuff either had like an AT&T or T-Mobile nearby, so that's what I noticed. But when I was downtown and I drove by, or not downtown, but close to Ala Moana, Waikiki, and I went by the Verizon store, I don't remember seeing any foot traffic there. So that has hurt them a little bit. On the bright side, because of the stay-at-home economy, more people have been working from home. And more people have been taking classes online. So whether it's their kids in college or their kids in primary school, high school, elementary and everything, postpaid phone subscribers actually went up for this quarter, over 280,000 people, and that beats their average estimate of 268,000. So that is the good side of what happened during this whole thing. But Verizon, you don't really have to worry about. They are a solid company. They have a really good balance sheet. Their cash flow is good. Of course, they're not advertising as much because most companies aren't. They're trying to, conserve the budget as much as possible until things can get back to their regular rotation of things. So their dividend yield is at 4%, which is still safe. And that's 62 cents, I believe, per quarter. And I own about 6 shares of Verizon, so I believe it's like $4. It's going to be almost $4 is what I'll get paid out. And if we go back here to Dividend View and Fidelity, and we'll scroll down here to Verizon, you can see the ex-dividend date was October 8th, which I didn't add any by that date. I think early in September or August I added to Verizon. The pay date will be November 2nd, and the yield is 4.38%. So, and yeah, I own 2 shares. So, and $62.75 per share. So it'll be kind of close to $4. It will $3.70 or so, somewhere around there is what I'll get paid. So not a lot right now, but if you've seen my dividend tracker video, you know what I'll be making, what I'll be paid in dividends for this year 2020. So, and also you can see that video if you want to know what my projected or estimated dividend payment will be all the way out to 2044. I have a dividend tracker that shows you all that information. So look for that video. I do that video every single at the end of every single week. So I almost said month there for a reason. So Tesla, looking at their earnings here really quick here, you can see consensus 56 cents. Their actual EPS was 76 cents. And I don't have the Alpha Street chart for some reason. That did not get posted. So just zoom out here really quick and we'll go to CNBC. And basically you can see that they delivered through September for this last quarter over 139,000 vehicles. And as far as earnings is concerned, 76 cents versus 57 cents is what was expected. So they beat on that adjusted earnings per share. And their revenue was at 8.7 billion versus 8.36 billion. So net income up as well. I guess net income wasn't on the GAAP side, wasn't as well as was expected. But Tesla, and I was kept wanting to say this in previous videos when I was buying into them. I don't own a lot. I only own a small position of Tesla. They are more than an auto company. You know, they've got the Tesla charging packs that you can put on your house. I've also heard of these mega packs that Tesla has, where it's possible for them to power small cities or towns. So, and they also have the space side of Tesla as well too. You know, Elon Musk was able to put a rocket into space, which is amazing. So this company is more just automobiles. So if you're like me, so I like the EV. I own NIO in my Robinhood portfolio, and I own a little bit of Tesla and Fidelity. If you're like me, though, that's like, okay, EV is not going to take over all of the U.S. It'll probably saturate more in other countries as other countries are getting rid of internal combustible engines, ICE. But in the U.S., I don't know if that's the case because, you know, fast cars, loud sounds, big trucks, loud sounds, I think is more kind of an American thing maybe. But the utility side of Tesla might really help their revenue and profits in the years to come once they level off. Now, it still could be 5 years before their car sales level off. They are still trying to get to 500,000 vehicles delivered by the end of this year. They'll have to do about 180,000, I think, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more, by the end of the fourth quarter in order to reach that goal. Musk has been off on some of his predictions, but for the most part, they've all kind of come true. So I'm probably going to try, if I can find some extra money, I'm probably going to try and put some more money into Tesla. I am mainly a dividend investor and a dividend growth investor, and you know that if you've seen my previous videos, but because of my holdings and everything. But I think Tesla can be like an Amazon. Amazon is dominating e-commerce, and I think Tesla will not only dominate vehicles, but they could dominate another side of another industry as well too. So sorry I can't talk, but the next video is tomorrow and the rest of the week. Hopefully I can talk better for you. I hope you are safe and healthy, everyone. Mahalo and aloha.